Welcome back to the Double Leg. I'm one half of the show, Hey Jai Picks, the other half of the show, The Parlay. Joining me in to recap some UFC Nashville. 12 fights in total. Overall, not the most exciting card. There were some exciting fights early on and then later on, but overall, not the best card, especially when you end with the main event of a snoozer like that. Domination by Cory Sandhagen, but not the fan favorite type of fight that people are going to like to see. But either way, very impressive. Not impressive were my premium picks. My premium picks were an L for the week. Still didn't get when we went down 4.37 units. Considering the week before that we went up 4.8. So I guess in hindsight, it's really not that bad. It felt a lot worse than what it actually was, but we'll move on to the next week. What'd you think of the card?
Yeah, kind of the same way as you. Kind of a roller coaster of a card. Some fights that were frustrating, some fights that were fun, like the Diego Lopez fight. And I'm the same way. My picks absolutely sucked yesterday, and I feel like we got bad beat after bad beat. Couldn't catch a break, and I mean that's just how this thing goes, though. I mean, it's so hard to be perfect when you're betting on MMA in your picks, but when they should go your way and they don't at the last second, like Jeremiah Wells, it's just the things that make the whole entire card frustrating. I knew exactly what night it was going to be after that Jeremiah Wells fight, so. But all you can do is, short-term memory in this game. All you do is move on to the next week. We're going to hit them at the Apex this coming weekend, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll go over some of these bad beats as we go through the fights. One of them started off with the main event for me. It was like a 3-unit swing to end the night. I had Rob Font plus 20.5 significant strikes, and it looked like we hit it. And then we get the old stat correction, and they take away like 7 significant strikes for Rob Font because Cory just laid on him. And at that point, 20.5 significant strikes is looking pretty good. But ultimately, they take the strikes away, and we lose. So it's a 3-unit swing there. But for the main event, what'd you think of it? I can't really fault Cory for, just staying in top control because ultimately it's kind of Rob Font's responsibility to get out from under there. He was not doing that. So, I mean, if he can just, lay on top of him for 5 rounds and not take any damage, I don't see why he wouldn't. But what'd you think?
Yeah, like you said, I can't fault Cory for fighting that fight because, I mean, you can't go in there when you're this close to being back in the title picture. You can't go in there and drop a fight to Rob Font. So I think he just wanted to play it safe. Make sure you get this W regardless of how you do it. But in the post-fight interview, he also talked about tearing his tricep in the first round possibly. So that's probably another reason he didn't mess around on the feet, just went straight in for the takedowns. So yeah, super boring. And I had Cory Sandhagen to finish the fight in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, a little sprinkle on each round. And I think if he's 100% healthy and fights like he normally does, he puts himself in positions to do so. Because even when he had him on the mat, he wasn't really looking to advance position or working the mount. Like he would a little bit, but he was not. He was content being kind of that 3/4 mount, controlling, landing a few elbows here and there, and doing just enough to where the ref wasn't going to stand him up. Super frustrating for me. We usually see like a Cory Sandhagen with more killer instinct, the flying knees, the good striking, getting guys down at the ground, looking for submissions. We just didn't see it. He just it was almost like he wanted to show everybody what he's been working on and that he can add that offensive wrestling. He's got it down packed. Like, he went 7-7 on takedowns on Rob Font last night, which was impressive, but he just didn't really do much with it. I mean, yeah, he landed 130 strikes, but I think only 30 of them, 39 were significant. So he really wasn't working the ground and pound either. I will say, even though Cory won and in dominant fashion, 50-45, I was pretty impressed with Rob Font's grappling in the first round. I think once he got to his back, he had problems obviously getting up. But, he was pretty active too, and we haven't really seen that at Rob Font. Overall, though, man, I don't even know what else to think about the fight. Just boring and kind of disappointing because you got 2 guys that are usually, entertaining. So,
yeah, it was disappointing for like a viewer perspective. Obviously, You know, it's just not a fan-friendly type of fight to put on, especially in a main event in, you know, a city that hasn't had the UFC come there for a good amount of time. It's not going to make a lot of people happy, especially if, you know, they come there and spend the tickets or maybe even travel to go to Nashville, and then that's what they get for the main event. Not going to make a lot of people happy. But if you're Cory Sandhagen, you know, made yourself happy, I guess, to get the win and, you know, go out. I wouldn't say unscathed because it sounds like he tore his tricep, but didn't take a lot of, you know, face damage or anything. So very dominant win though. Very dominant. Can't take it away from him. What he did. Co-main event, the lock of the week. In hindsight, I wish I would put more on it, but at the same time, I put a lot on it. Tatiana Suarez gets it done. Round 2 sub, guillotine choke. She looked good, and it kind of went exactly how I thought it would go. But it's kind of like there's definitely a discrepancy with the striking, but the ground game is so dominant that the striking, she still won the striking exchanges because Andrade was just too scared to throw anything. So that's like the superpower of having that high level of a ground game for Suarez is like, you know, she can land on chicks without really having much coming back to her, because once they do start to engage with the hands, she can just shoot a takedown. And even the takedowns that she did shoot, they weren't like clean, but she still managed to get them down. It's like, that's pretty nuts. How you can I don't want to say shoot like shitty takedowns, but like be in those bad positions to where you don't finish takedowns in those type of positions, but she still did. So she got it done. I still think she's a future champion. I think she could definitely be there. What do you think?
Yeah, she's super impressive to watch. She's athletic. She's strong as hell, too. I mean, you look at the size discrepancy in that fight, and you just knew that this thing was going to hit the mat at some point under Tatiana Suarez's direction. I mean, she was going to be the one controlling that fight. And when you said, you know, you talked about her takedowns and they didn't look like the best, I just don't think she was I don't know if she was worried about, you know, a knee up the middle from Andrade or maybe getting caught trying to come in. But yeah, she was kind of a little hesitant and kind of not really exploding into the takedowns. But all it took was for her to get her hands around her one time and gets her down at the ground. And she just does her thing when she's on the ground. There's not many girls in that division who are going to be able to hang with her, especially her being, you know, that big against Andrade. Andrade is just, you know, can't hang with girls that are that size and that talented. And for Andrade, watching her fight compared to, you know, 3-4 years ago, she's taken a massive step back. And I don't know if it's just the matchup she's getting. I mean, I know she's not getting favorable matches, but even in her last fight, you know, getting knocked out in the first round. Fight before that, I believe, was Blanchfield. And now you get ran by Tatiana Suarez. So you're fighting good girls, but she's just not really hanging with them anymore. And it sucks to see, because at one point, you know, when she was beating Rose, when she was letting the hands go, she's fun to watch, but just not getting it done anymore.
Yeah, it's she said a little bit of a rough patch. I don't know if like where her mindset is at now, because this is her fourth fight of the year and her third loss of the year, and it's her second fight that she's taking on short notice. And I just don't see. I mean, she's getting good paychecks. I think that's like where she's at right now. It's like, I'll take the paycheck. If it's short notice, it's like, all right, don't really care about my record anymore. I'm 24-12. I got 12 losses. So it's like, I take another loss. They're going to keep me around because I'm Jessica Andrade. So, and I don't know if she really has any like title aspirations anymore, because like she's clearly losing to girls that are better than her. So that's kind of where she's at. Dustin Jacoby, Kennedy Nzechukwu. The man Jacoby gets it done in the first round. We said it. I think it was on the exclusive show or something. I said, the only way Kennedy loses is if he gets knocked out in the first round. Exactly what he did. So there you go. Dustin Jacoby gets it done first round. Nice right hand. Nzechukwu, I don't know if he just it was kind of an early stoppage. I don't want to say, I'm not going to get too mad about it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think any of those ground strikes like landed at all. Like he hit him good with that right hand, dropped him. Kind of a slow drop. It wasn't like boom, like gets dropped to the ground immediately. Slow fall, and then the follow-up was like not too vicious. So interesting stoppage in my opinion, but I'm not too mad about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a little you know, premature as well, just because the ref didn't really give Kennedy a chance to I guess work into his guard or anything. He just kind of right when he put his hands up to block the hammer fist, the ref just stepped in. And like you said, man, the punch that dropped him was a clean shot. It was a good shot, but it's not like it, you know, folded him. He took one step back, went to his ass, and then from there, kind of like leaned back to get out of the way of that right hand coming in. And then, you know, covers up for a split second. Right when he covered up, the ref stopped it, which was frustrating because Kennedy's tough. Jacoby hits hard and everything, but I just think at this level, like you got to let it go on a little bit further and see if Kennedy can, you know, grab a hold of him and try to get safe and recover. And he just didn't even get the opportunity to do that. And he was still there. Like lights were on. He got up and was asking the ref, like, you know, why'd you stop that so soon? But yeah, I'm a Jacoby fan. I'm glad he got the win. I just thought going into this fight, their career trajectories are kind of like Jacoby's obviously, you know, he's number 15 in the world, but, you know, he's lost 2 fights in a row. Kennedy's finished 3 in a row. So they were just kind of going opposite directions. I thought Kennedy would have had more. So, but happy for Jacoby.
Diego Lopez, Gavin Tucker. The man Lopez getting it done.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Yeah, it was great, man. I said today on a video that Diego Lopez is a star in the making. And it all started with the haircut from the first time people saw him. Comes in there and has Movsar Evlev in a lot of trouble. And Movsar's, you know, a ranked opponent. It was his UFC debut. So people were high on him coming into this fight. And you go in the flying triangle and you lock it in there. And then you know, I don't know if he broke the arm or not, but he was bending it to a way to where it was going to break sooner or later. Gavin Tucker kind of rolls over and he taps immediately. So that was exactly what you want to do if you're Diego Lopez. You got some people talking about you. You're a star in the making, and you go out there and you finish this dude in the first round like that. He couldn't have written a better script. So big things ahead for Diego Lopez.
Yeah, it's not like Gavin Tucker's some scrub either. Like,
yeah.
His last fight was Dan Ige, so it's not like he's fighting straight bums. And he, a minute 38, he made pretty quick work for Gavin Tucker. Knew exactly what he wanted, too. I mean, Tucker went for that takedown, goes right for the triangle, and then just kind of adjusts it and goes for the triangle armbar. Really nasty stuff. Probably, I mean, if Tucker doesn't tap, like that thing's getting snapped in 2. I'm pretty sure it was broken, though, in some aspect. Tanner Boser, Alexa Kammer. Tanner Boser getting the win by decision. I think both guys should get cut. This is pretty low-level light heavyweights, and not a lot of, I don't know, think a lot of skill was put on display. It was a lot of like toughness and like just grit. That's ultimately what the fight was. But what'd you think?
Yeah, Tanner Boser, just like the best way I can describe him is he fights like a gnat. He just annoys the hell out of you. Like he'll hit you with a shot and almost have you hurt, and he'll just put you up against the cage and hold you there and you know, rip the body and just kind of hold on. But Alexa Kammer was kind of the same way. Like when he would get moving forward, he'd hit him and then engage in the clinch and then do nothing with it. So I just think Alexa Kammer, I guess, didn't have the better cardio, and it kind of affected him. I think if he would have had better cardio, he had Tanner Boser in some positions he could have really teed off and tried to do something, but he just didn't have the energy to. But like you said, man, cut both guys. It was not the best fight. Neither guy showed great fight IQ, skill. I mean, both, I guess, are somewhat tough, and that's about it. And overall, just a tough fight to watch.
Yeah, both guys super tough. And Boser, I felt like he could have like just started teeing off, but like you said, he would land a couple shots and then he'd like go and clinch him. Like you're just landing clean and then you're gonna go clinch him. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. Maybe he's just part of his energy conservation or whatever. But yeah, I don't really need to see him anymore.
No.
Ludovic Klein, Ignacio Bahamondes. From now on, if Ludovic Klein's at a plus money, I think I got to be on it because that's just the way he gets it done. Like you look at when he wins fights, it's usually when he's the underdog. Like Mason Jones, plus 310 against him. He was plus 190 here. And then a favorite against Jai gets the draw. A slight dog against Devontae Smith win. Big favorite against Nate Landwehr loss. Big favorite against Trezano loss. And yeah, I mean, you just got to bet him when he's an underdog. And in this one, it's like he just came out and hit Bahamondes in the mouth right away with some big power shots, used the wrestling, just muscled him up. Bahamondes couldn't really do much after that. And it looked lopsided in Ludovic Klein's favor. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Ludovic Klein, gets the rap of this kickboxer with really good striking. He's strong, powerful, but I think he reminded everybody last night that he's a good, well-rounded mixed martial artist because the top pressure was great. Ignacio Bahamondes, did a good job trying to get a submission, put him in some, risky situations at times, nothing crazy, nothing too deep or dangerous, but yeah, man, Ludovic Klein all the way around is really good. And like you said, if he's at dog money, you almost have to take him because he can hang wherever the fight's going to go. And on the feet, man, he was cracking Bahamondes. And there was a few times I thought he was going to have a chance to put him out. And some of the shots he landed probably would have put some guys out. So Ignacio Bahamondes is like talented, but I don't know. I think he just got put in there with a vet last night and just show he's got stuff he's got to work on. He's not going to get a striker every time. I think he was expecting to just get into a kickboxing match with Ludovic Klein and hope that his length and his size would take over, and he just never got the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, especially after that Trey Ogden fight, like Trey Ogden just sat at range with him, and it was like an easy-ass night for Ignacio. And then Ludovic, like, put the pressure on him, was coming forward. That's exactly what he needed to do to get the win. Come forward, throw hands hard so that he has to respect you. And those takedowns he got, it was like watching a linebacker go for a tackle, dude. He was like going all the way through him. It was a beauty to see. Kyler Phillips, Raoni Barcelos. Kyler Phillips gets the win in his return, gets the knockdown in round 1. Nice little right hand. And then the next 2 rounds were pretty close. But ultimately, Kyler Phillips gets the win. One judge had it 30-27, one had 29-28. I had the first 2 rounds for Kyler Phillips and round 3 for Barcelos. But overall, I mean, Barcelos is not an easy out. So, I mean, it's a good win for Phillips in his return fight back from the long layoff. And interested to see what he does next. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually had Kyler by decision plus 275 that hit. And I knew when the fight was over, he won for sure. But he... Yeah, coming off the layoff and stuff, he looked good. I think on the feet, you could tell he's been working because he always has that good movement where he's circling out and he makes it hard to hit. He makes you chase and he pulls you into these shots. And he did a good job against Barcelos with that. But I was impressed with Barcelos being able to eat some of the shots, work his game plan, especially late in the fight, and make it kind of interesting. I mean, he didn't fight terribly. He is older. Kyler Phillips is a durable, strong, fast dude. He was able to hang with him most of the fight, besides the first round getting knocked down and second round he dropped. But yeah, man, it was a decent fight. I thought Kyler Phillips, that's exactly what you need to do in your first fight back. Go out there, put away a guy like Raoni Barcelos, who's been in the game forever. He's a vet. He knows how to win fights, and you still got it done over him. So it's a good way to come back for him.
Carlston Harris, Jeremiah Wells. Do we even want to talk about this one? We were both on Jeremiah Wells, obviously by our reactions, but the man comes out hot like he always does. Clearly just dominates the first 2 rounds with the ground game, gets him down to the ground right off the bat. And then round 3, it's kind of more of the same. Takes a little bit of a more laid back approach with the intensity because he's up 2 rounds. And then it goes in on some kind of double leg, leaves his head out there. You could see in slow motion Carlston Harris like snatch up the darce, or he goes for the darce, and then he's got it locked in, and then like goes and falls to the ground, and you can see Jeremiah Wells is just stuck there, but like it doesn't look like he's moving at all because he looks like he thinks he's safe, and then he just goes out. I'm like, did that really just happen? Like I was watching the TV. And I'm waiting for him to break the grip because it's not working or something like that. Jeremiah Wells doesn't move at all. And then he just goes out. I'm like, no way, that really just happened. That really just fucking happened. But yeah, that sucked. But I mean, this is the thing though. Cause like Carlston Harris was doing a lot of the similar things that Rob Font was doing, right? Because Carlston Harris was on the bottom for like majority of the fight, just getting destroyed by Jeremiah Wells. 9 minutes of control time for Jeremiah Wells. Rob, that's exactly what Rob Font was doing, just getting like looking for or staying safe on the ground, not giving his back up, just staying the course of the fight. And then he gets in round 3 and he finishes him. So it's like, I hate when fighters do that, where they'll just stay the course. Like they'll go a whole round on their back. And then sometimes it works. Sometimes you just got to outlast them. But in this spot, I really hated it. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, into round 2, this looked like the easiest bet of the year. I mean, it looked like the best possible minus 130 bet you could ever place. Because Jeremiah Wells goes back to the corner after the second round, and he's not even breathing heavy. Like the dude looks like, I was like, okay, he's got all the energy in the world still. This dude's just been laying on top, wearing out Carlston Harris. Harris is going to come in here in the third exhausted. And he comes out there and he shoots the double leg. But I mean, you're winning the exchanges on the feet. And in the third round, after just mauling Carlston Harris, I don't think he's going to have enough left to put you out on the feet. So I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating. And like you said, he gets that choke locked in, and it didn't look like it was that tight. And the commentators even saying like Wells has his elbow outside. Like that's great for him. It's going to be super hard to finish this. And Wells just is sitting there. The ref comes in. And when the ref started looking really close, I was just waiting for Jeremiah Wells to give him the thumbs up, say like, I'm good, I'm just chilling here. And then Carlston Harris would be like, shit, I don't have it. I got to let go and try something else. And then all of a sudden, the ref steps in, grabs his arm, and it's limp. I'm like, are you shitting me? Like, did this really just happen right now? And super frustrating, man. I mean, those are the ones that stick with you and makes you think twice about betting on Jeremiah Wells next time, because he could dominate 2 rounds easily, probably 10-8 in there, and goes in there and gets choked out in the third somehow. So I don't know. Yeah, weird stuff. He's probably scratching his head too. I don't even know if he knows what happened because it was that bad. But it looked great in the first 2 rounds, I guess. Still lost the fight. I don't know.
That's wild. You're winning like every second of the fight.
Every second. Yeah.
Done. Like a long fight too, like fight that went into round 3.
By a choke, you should be able to defend. Like,
yeah, right.
But I mean, you're a wrestler, you're a grappler, and you let somebody snatch up your neck like that on a double leg in the third round. I mean, come on.
I can't get the picture out of my head of like Carlston Harris like going and like slow motion reaching across to like cinch it up. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna go for it, but he's not gonna get this, right? He's get this and actually gets it.
I thought he was trying to defend the takedown.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It looks like he was reaching under to kind of pull Jeremiah Wells up. I don't know.
Or like just a way to get him off him,
Yeah.
Like he was actually gonna fucking cinch it up, whatever. Billy Q, Damon Jackson. This one was tough to watch too, because we were both on round 2, round 3 finish for William Q. And he just couldn't get Damon Jackson off of him. Like every time he would land a flurry, Jackson would just crash, and he'd have to, brush him off of him and then go back at it again. Just couldn't get it done. But Damon had a lot of fight in him, especially in the first round. I mean, he was piecing Billy up. Billy looked like he was a little scared in that first round to get knocked out again. But ultimately gets it done. What'd you think?
Yeah, frustrating again, man. I mean, those are 2 fights back to back that just sucks, because there's a few shots that Billy Q hit Damon Jackson with that rocked him, and like he was wobbly a few times. I think more from probably exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
But all Billy Q, I kept saying like, throw the body kick, man. It's wide open. He's exhausted. He's almost hands on knees at this point, gasping for air, and then he would either clinch or throw a few shots upstairs, and then Damon Jackson would clinch, and he just never got a chance to finish it. I thought Billy Q clearly won. I saw people online claiming robbery. I thought that was absolutely insane, because Damon Jackson just did not look good in the second and third round. And the impressive thing for Billy is they don't look like they're that effective, but when he's in the clinch and he's ripping the body like in close, not even like winding up, like there's a few times you could see Damon Jackson almost like wincing on his face. And that was about the time I knew Billy Q was about to take over this fight, because you could see Damon Jackson break away from the clinch after those body shots. And he was like, he was hurting pretty bad and he was tired. So, yeah, good win for Billy Q. Good bounce back fight.
Cody Dirt and Jake Hadley. This was like the start of the bad beats for me, because I had the under 2.5, and I don't know how. I don't know how Hadley got out of the choke, and I don't know how Durden didn't tap to that armbar in the second round because, geez, man, that looked like it was going to get snapped. And a good fight, though. Very good fight. And Cody Durden get the win as the underdog once again. And, yeah, I mean, you can never count that man out. He's a tough dude. He showed it last night. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, that armbar was locked in, it looked like, and, you could tell he was in some pain. And I think we called it on the preview show that like Durden's going to be a super live dog because of the wrestling, and he can just steal 2 rounds, with the wrestling. And if he goes to the judges scorecards, he's always got a chance. So that's what he did. Hadley's a tough dude to finish. He's a tough dude to beat, and Cody Durden did really good at not getting finished, and looking really good in the wrestling at times. So Cody Durden's kind of that dark horse too. Like he's going to beat a lot of guys just based off that pace and pressure.
Yeah.
And getting a win over Jake Hadley, who people are pretty high on. I mean, that was a good win for him.
Yeah. I mean, Hadley was calling out. I had this like play out in my mind at the beginning of the week because Hadley was calling out Makayev, right? And then, of course, Makayev like made slight work with Cody Durden in his debut, got him or hit him with the flying knee and then guillotined him. And because Hadley had called out Makayev and now he's facing Cody Durden, the guy that Makayev like got out of there really quick. I just had this feeling Cody Durden's going to win. And then he's going to be like, yeah, you couldn't even beat the guy that I just smoked. So yeah. I just felt that coming. Sean Woodson, Dennis Bazookia, the boy Bazookia on short notice. He sounds like he had a tough weight cut, and it kind of showed. I mean, you could tell even at the end of round 1 into round 2, he was looking like just anything that he threw was like a little bit labored. Obviously, Sean Woodson's going to be a tough fight for anybody on short notice because of the length and the problems that he presents there. But overall, I mean, he gave a good shot out there because he went the full distance. I didn't think that was going to end up going the full distance, but tough dude in Dennis Bazookia, and good win for Sean Woodson. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't stand Sean Woodson for some reason. I don't know if it's like the way he looks or what. Yeah, like no hate to him, but I just don't like watching him fight. And I will give him credit though, because he knows Bazooka's on short notice, a couple days notice. Probably knows he had a tough weight cut, missed weight, and he did good work with the kicks, the body, and you could tell those had a big impact on the fight. I think with a full camp though, Dennis Bazooka has a lot of skills, and I think preparing for a single guy for 6 to 8 weeks, I think is going to serve him better in his next fight because he's surrounded by killers. He's got guys that can give him any look possible. I think it's just like you go in there short notice against a dude who has that much of a height and reach advantage against you, and is going to be hard to take down because he is so long and he has so he just all Woodson has to do is get that whizzer, and it's going to be tough to take him down and get in on a leg. And yeah, I think full camp's going to serve him well. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll get another fight in the UFC. Hopefully he gets a guy that's a little more favorable of a matchup size-wise and goes out there and just shows his complete game and what he's capable of. For Sean Woodson, I don't even know what's next for him, really. He just, he has that fight with Luis Saldana. You beat Dennis, who's UFC debuting on a couple of days' notice. I don't know. I don't know who he gets, but hopefully a striker, because Woodson is, can be fun to watch at times on the feet.
Yeah, he's got like pretty fast hands, but overall he just moves kind of slow.
Yeah.
And I think with a full camp, Bazooka could have made or at least made him pay for a lot of that speed disadvantage there.
Yeah.
Asil Almabayev and O'Day Osborne, first fight of the night. Almabayev comes out with the takedowns, just as we saw on the regional film, and he gets him down, and O'Day couldn't last. What do you think?
Yeah, O'Day, I played the number because I thought UFC debuter who is good and he's a good grappler. I thought the number was going to be a little bit closer on the odds, just because O'Day is so athletic and explosive and a good takedown defense. Didn't really matter though. O'Day just looks like I don't know. He's just not. I guess he's explosive. He just doesn't look the same as he has in some of his wins. I don't know if he's got like a mental block going on, or these guys are just a lot better than him. But even the Charles Johnson fight, like he didn't look the best. I mean, it was a close fight, but he wasn't doing anything outstanding. Gets flatlined by Tyson Nam before that. So I don't know where he's at right now. He's a guy that showed a ton of potential and stuff when he first got into the UFC, with that athleticism and explosion and striking, but just hasn't really put it on display. And I think once he got taken down in this fight yesterday, he was kind of worried about it the rest of the duration of the fight. So,
Yeah.
Almabayev, though, showed really good skill. He cracked Ode on the feet, too. Got in on the takedown and did good work on top. So, props to him, and he'll probably get a good fight next, too.
Yeah, it looked like he was just a little hesitant on the feet to like throw anything. That's where you're gonna beat him. You come in there not wanting to throw anything because you don't want to get taken down. Ultimately, you're just not going to throw anything, and then you're going to get taken down because he's just not going to throw anything. He's not going to respect anything. So, yeah, a loss for Ode there, and a good debut showing for Asu Almabayev. But that's the recap for UFC Nashville. We got a big week, a lot of big weeks ahead of us. But this one, we got Dana White Contender Series starting up on Tuesday. We'll come out with a preview show for that, so stay tuned to the channel there. And then we got UFC Fight Night, Dos Anjos and Vicente Luque on Saturday. So stay tuned for that preview as well. If you want to join the premium membership, join the link or hit the link in the description so you can join up there. But other than that, you can stay up to date with everything at the Double Leg on Instagram. Follow me on all the medias at HeyJivePicks. Where can they find you?
At all social medias at the Parlay MMA.
All right, so we will see you in the Dana White Contender Series preview show in the next video. Till then, the Double Leg signing.